Ladies and gentlemen, today we'll discuss NIO 5.91% drop and its influence. We'll also glance at market movers and upcoming bank earnings, pondering NIO future and shifting markets. I'm trying to tell you what's happening with NIO. I'll also briefly mention a few other stocks and tell you what's happening in the overall market and what you should pay attention to. In the coming days, I'll let you know that an important time is approaching for the stock market because big banks' earnings are coming, and they will determine which direction the market may go. Now, let's see what's happening in the market. So NIO is down by 5.91% today, and generally, a drop like this, similar to NIO, wasn't a big challenge for us. I was talking about the possibility if NIO breaks this key support. For now, we've had a slight drop, and NIO couldn't hold the $9 range. But by now, I can say that it affects it in some way, and most of the time, the market itself helps us understand how this thing might unfold. That's why it's very important for you to watch and see how the market is impacting NIO and how it's affecting other markets. So let's see what happens with these earnings. It has been reported that an attempt was made initially to boost this pump, but it decided to stay within its range. After that, it hit some tight resistance, and the market experienced a sell-off when the 30-year bond auctions proved to be more challenging than expected. This led to an increase in bond yields. It also pushed the 10-year yield higher, slowing down the market. That's what happened today, and it also affected NIO. Now tomorrow, we have big bank earnings coming up, which is crucial. Right now, we're expecting bank earnings to decline by 2.1% compared to the previous quarter, and we'll see if that trend continues. Whatever happens from here will impact the market, so be prepared for it. There's more to it. I just want to say that for the banks, we have JP Morgan. We expect a 4.4% decline in it. The expected figure for earnings is around $3.89 profit or loss per share, EPS, which will be very interesting. And we hope for revenue to be around $39 billion. So, let's see if JP Morgan experiences a decline and meets earnings expectations. The same goes for BlackRock. We are expecting an overall growth of 8.3%, with relatively high EPS at around $8.52, and an expected revenue of $4.67 billion. When we look at BlackRock, Citibank, and PNC, we anticipate declines. Let's see if that happens or not. The same applies to Wells Fargo and J. Now let's move forward. We have more data. Just before the market opens, we get import and export data, but 30 minutes after opening, we receive the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Reports and 5-year Inflationary Expectations Report. These reports will tell us about the overall state of the economy and the current sentiment regarding inflation and beyond. This is the time when we might experience higher volatility. Remember that you are prepared for this and ready for significant movements. Now when it comes to NIO's trading volume has seen a decrease, only around 37 million shares, so quite different. We have seen a slight increase in shorting, and we've also noticed a slight increase in short falling concerning the price. Deutsche Bank still maintains a buying rating for NIO. With daily seasonal changes, the price is relatively decreasing. For us, Friday only experienced a 53% green time, so it might not be that bad for NIO on Friday. However, we are seeing a slight increase in shorting on NIO when we saw that 9 million NIO shares were shorted. So once again, folks, we are observing even more shorts on NIO. The question is, will this decrease or will it accelerate? This will depend on bank earnings. If banks cause a significant move, we can try to keep NIO above 8.7. If you are bullish, this should be what you want. As long as it stays above 8.7, it can try to make its way. If it goes below our support, which is 8.3, where we have unemployment, it may return to 8.11. Now, what is most likely? It is more likely that the market will retest NIO at 8.61 and then continue to decline towards 8.3 or similar levels. I know it's a bit painful for me to say this, but it's quite likely. Look at the current trend. There is a slight change in the market structure, which can lead to more downsides over time. And we have a potential double top-like pattern that can lead to more losses. Therefore, I just wanted to alert you to further potential losses. But we need to see how NIO reacts at the 8.3 support level. There is still a risk of further losses at the 8.3 support. Let's see how the banks impact it. Now for SPY, I just want to say that if we are bearish, we want to see it eventually go below 431, where we have some important support. If you are bullish, you want to see it break above 362 or go above the 200 EMA. What's more likely is that it may rally a bit and then perhaps decline, because here we can form a large head and shoulders like pattern, and it's possible that the market may rally a bit and then start to decline. To me, the most likely move seems to be another potential move towards losses before another move for losses, as here we can create a big head and shoulders like pattern. So it's important to be prepared for another move towards losses before any further losses. Now, let's talk about other things like Tesla. Tesla also appears a bit bearish. If we are bullish, you want to see it break below 262.5 and hold it. If you are bearish, I apologize. If you are bullish, we would like you to hold until 62.5. If you are bearish, you want to see a break below the 50 EMA, which is currently providing support at the 257 area. The most likely outcome would be for Tesla to jump back up towards 262.5, encounter resistance there, and then eventually come back down, which is around the 258 area, where the 50 EMA is. Then it would likely continue downward towards 255. Take a little lift on Tesla and wait for a drop. This is quite possible for tomorrow, but we will see how earnings impact this market. Apple is still pumping. We are looking towards resistance. There is a gap that has not been filled yet. So during the day, we haven't entirely filled this gap. Actually, I think we might have filled this gap. Let me check again. It seems we have filled this gap pretty close. So take a little lift on Apple. But we haven't seen a drop in Apple yet. But if it happens, it may start soon. Tomorrow we'll see how it affects QQQ and other things. For QQQ, the intention is to take a little lift towards 372, then encounter resistance, and it could drop back towards 366. But if we stay above 370, there may be a possibility for the bulls. If we break it, there's a possibility it could go down to 368, then 366. If you are bearish, you want this thing to break below 65 and hold. If that happens, there's a higher chance of it going to 61. And if it starts moving upward, you should watch for it to hold above 470. Then 474 to 476 is possible. The general trend still indicates a reversal, but for this we need to keep seeing Nvidia drop continuously. In my opinion, we can see a decline because we're coming towards the 462 area, which can be retested. Nvidia can jump a bit and fall back down. That's the most likely according to technical analysis, plus there's a bearish divergence. And we have a gap at 458 that hasn't been filled yet. So the likelihood is that Nvidia goes down. Earnings are coming tomorrow, so be a little cautious. A jump and a drop are quite possible. For NIO, what do I think is the most likely step? As I mentioned earlier, we can try to jump a bit from 8.6 to 8.7, then encounter resistance and start a drop, as we have a double top-like formation, and we can see that NIO starts to drop towards the lower 8s, 8.3, or if not, 8.1. I just want to alert you about this. I know this might not be what you want to hear, but considering the current trend, this is the most likely scenario, and I'm doing my best to show the impact. Folks, these are the things I inform you about, so get ready for the big bank earnings. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more stock predictions and market insights. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Happy investing, and see you in the next video.